in the Cold War of TV stardom compromise is the name of the game. It's the money or the gun that drives you on, the money or the gun. Bank cards, your plastic explosive, your checkbooks are Colt 45. You overspend, and it's the end. You can't afford to stay alive. It's the money or the gun that drives you on. Choose now, the money or the
I used to lead a miserable, shabby sort of a life. My childhood was dull and featureless. Adults used my upturned face as an ashtray. Other children blamed me for everything. A mess in the science lab, missing tuck shop money, the Bogle Chandler murders. My parents teased me with Bunsen burners, my room full of rats. Oh, at least until the welfare agencies came and took them somewhere better. I had this theory that the gene pool from which we all come is divided into distinct sections, and that I was from the shallow end. Total strangers will come up to me in public libraries and tell me how the book I'd just borrowed ended. I was a lonely, tragic figure, dressed entirely in a body stocking of corduroy. But one day, all that changed. I discovered advertising. Why hadn't I noticed it before? This blaze of colour and movement, this world of opportunity and fun. Within 8 days, I had the best paid, most interesting life in the whole world. Suddenly I realised that no one was far from anyone anymore. Overnight, I had that ring of confidence. I'd leave home with my American Express card, and in crazy impulse moments, buy drinks I'd have when I wasn't having a drink for women wearing girdles I couldn't believe were girdles. Simply oozing effervescence. They could tell I was soaking in it. I'd chat to them about what fish John West had rejected that week, and casually beg on my way into their heart. They could tell I was the real thing, a quiet achiever. One glance, it was obvious there were 43 beans in my cup. And one day, a beautiful Spanish girl, Jacinta, decided she was onto a good thing and stuck to me. We headed off in my hay charger to my beautiful home, thank you, Mr. Hooker, where I whacked on the living flame and cooked up a meal that was simply so chumpy you could carve it with a free set of steak knives. I told her there was a magic mushroom in my bathroom. It was a sterling idea, but it might just work, and before we knew it, we found ourselves locked in a crazy Vesta situation. To the sound of Majestic Records' Disco Lady plucked from my record selector, we began to undress. Hubba bubba, she was honestly wearing no knickers. To cover, I wore his pants for her. One look at my flat blaster body and she could tell that I was a man who didn't have to try too hard. Clearly, I was a big Australian, and as I felt that glass and a half of full cream milk well up inside me, I looked deep into Jacinta's dark eyes and thought to myself, no one could ever hand a man a grander Spaniel. Passion was Coco Lossel as we made new meteor love in 7 shapes and sizes. How did it feel? Difficult to describe. To understand, you'd absolutely, positively have to be there overnight. But I can tell you this. Thanks to advertising, my life became livable. Not only did it show me how with one flick all my problems could be gone, but it taught me the truth about myself. That the most important person in the world really is me. And why is that? Because I'm as individual as you are. We'll be right back after this break.
crisps. The taste that lasts 1,000 years.
Advertising. The very sound of the word makes my heart lift and separate. Of course, not all people tend to think the way I do about advertising. They whinge and moan about the damage it can cause. Frankly, I find that opinion very narrow. If you ask me, those people aren't quite the full cup in the wash. I mean, forget the cultural benefits for the moment. Think of the importance of advertising to our economy. But why am I telling you this when tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're privileged to have with us Renaissance man, advertising whiz-kid, media guru, human centerfold, call him what you will, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Philip Adams! On second thoughts, he bores me shitless. I mean, everybody talks to Philip Adams about advertising and everything else for that matter. So, rather than being completely passé, perhaps I should just give you some details myself. For instance, did you know that in 1987 alone...
Australians spent more than $4 billion on advertising.
What?
Over here. I need tuning. Yeah, a bit to the left. That's better. Okay, what are you staring at?
Nothing.
Never heard of talk radio?
No, go on, please.
I said in 1987 alone, Australians spent over $4 billion on advertising.
That's $1 billion more than was spent on unemployment.
What?
Disgraceful, isn't it?
No.
All that money being wasted on dull bludgeons.
No. You can't talk. You're a newspaper.
Oh, great. So much for freedom of the press. Of course I can talk. In fact, I'm very opinionated.
Not that anyone believes you, of course.
Oh, yeah? Is that why you use newspapers for all your story ideas?
Oh, please, at least I'm not used for cats to poo on.
No.
Yes, and you both do advertising, right?
Who told you that?
Can't reveal my sources, I'm afraid.
That's all right. Means you've just made it up.
Oh, no, I haven't. I do have a source.
Who then?
She says you'd both do anything for an ad. Change the placement of your articles, blur the editorial line of your programs.
Television.
That bitch!
Why does everyone believe television more than us?
Why not ask her about her ad problems, hey?
I've
She'd lay down and spreaders, schedules for anyone with enough bucks. She'd even did it with John Singleton.
Well, we all did it with John Singleton.
Well, but at least he doesn't make you feel cheap afterwards.
No, he makes you feel positively rich afterwards.
Oh, well, is that why you do it, for the money?
Well, that's why we do anything. For the money.
Yeah, but is there much in it?
In the last 5 years, for instance, Toyota reputedly spent $150 million on their Oh What a Feeling campaign.
God, that's about, 40 million a word.
It's estimated Grace Brothers splash out $25 million a year on advertising. Hookers spend $10 million.
Hookers? That's spent, surely.
Whatever. The point is, we're helping Australia. That's where the money's got to be stimulating the economy and creating jobs.
Especially highly paid ones.
And they wouldn't spend it if they didn't have to, would they?
Well, no, you've got a point there. Look, guys, I'd love to stay and talk to radio and newspaper, but I've got lunch to do, so see you later. Ciao.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
You can see why they call it the idiot box, can't you?
Yeah, did you see the way he was dressed?
Yeah, what a wanker. What an ego.